Alright, so this is our PowerPoint on random variables, chapter 16. While reading this chapter, keep these objectives in mind. Like you'll have to create probability distributions for discrete random variables, including geometric and binomial. You'll have to analyze probability distributions for discrete random variables, and you have to calculate the mean or expected value and the standard deviation of a random variable. This is what you should have learned while you're reading the chapter for like expected value. This is the center. These are just some vocab words that you should know, like discrete random variable, a random variable that can take one of finite number of distinct outcomes, a continuous random variable, a random variable that can take on any numeric value within the range of values, a probability model, the collection of all possible values and the probability that they occur, or the expected value. The expected value of a random variable is its theoretical long-run average, or the center of its model, denoted by the expected value. It is found if the random variable is discrete by summing the products of a variable values and probabilities. So that's on expected value center. You can click return, and you can. This is the equation to find the expected value, the mean of the expected value, which is the mean equals expected value equals an outcome times the probability of that outcome. So that's the equation for expected value mean. And then this is the spread variance. The variance of a random variable is its expected value of the standard deviation from the mean. For discrete random variable, it can be calculated as that, and that's the equation to find that. And standard deviation. The standard deviation of a random variable describes the spread in the model and the square root of the variance, and that's the equation. You can click return, and you can learn about mean and variances. And we know that adding or subtracting a constant from the data shifts the mean but doesn't change the variance or standard deviation. The same is true for random variables, and that is the equation for that. And multiplying each value of a random variable by a constant multiplies the mean by the constant and the square root of the constant. So that's how you multiply that. And the expected value of the sum is the sum of the expected values, and that's the equation for the expected value. And addition rule for variances: the sum of two independent random variables is the sum of their individual variances. And you can click return, and this is the general idea of that. The mean of the sum of two random variables is the sum of the means. The mean of the difference of two random variables is the difference of the means. If the random variables are independent, the variances of their sum or difference is always the same of the variances, and that's the equation. And continuous random variables. A random variable that can take on any numeric value within a range of values. All have means, which we also call expected values, and variances regardless of the shape of distribution. When two independent continuous random variables have normal models, so does the sum or difference. And this is just checking. So if you have the book, you can go on page 368 and look for just checking number 1. And this is a video solution for it, so you can follow along, so you can do it. And for 376 also, number 2. Click return. And this is what can go wrong. So read this before you start any problems. So like, don't assume everything is normal. Watch out for variables that aren't independent, and don't forget variances of independent random variables add, but standard deviations don't. Don't forget variances of independent random variables add even when you're looking at the difference between them. Don't write independent instances of a random variables with notation that looks like they are the same variables. And then after the video, after the book, you can watch these videos. There's 2 videos of Mrs. Brown. This is links to her videos on chapter 16, and she can teach you about like the mean and stuff, how to find the expected value. And she also has more videos on other chapters, like chapters 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is student videos. This is homework that we did, so you can follow along on page 383 and click on it and then watch it. And we also did some AP questions for you at AP Questions 2012 number 2 and 2001 number 2, so you can go on College Board and find those AP questions and follow along. And we also did calculator tips of finding the mean and standard deviation of a random variable, so you don't have to do it by hand and you can just do it in a calculator. And also, if you have the quiz B on chapter 16, we have also the video solution for that. And that ends it.